So we're given that sine squared alpha equals times cosine squared alpha equals 1 minus cosine 4 alpha over 8. So I want to prove this identity. I'm going to start with the left side, and I want to use the double angle identity. So I can rewrite sine squared alpha as 1 minus cosine 2 alpha over 2, and cosine squared alpha as 1 plus cosine 2 alpha over 2. So I'm going to make the substitution. So I'm going to take this, replace it with sine squared alpha, and this with cosine squared alpha. So I'm going to have 1 minus cosine 2 alpha over 2 multiplied by 1 plus cosine 2 alpha over 2. And notice that this is a difference of two squares. So like if you have a minus b times a plus b, you just get a squared minus b squared. So I can simplify the numerators as 1 minus cosine squared of 2 alpha. And the denominator, you multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay. Now we want to simplify cosine squared 2 alpha. Well, in general, we know that cosine squared x is equal to 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. In our case, x is 2 alpha. So if I substitute x equals 2 alpha, I get cosine squared of 2 alpha equals 1 plus cosine of 2 times 2 alpha all over 2. So I can simplify that as 1 plus cosine 4 alpha all over 2. So this is what I'm going to plug in for cosine squared 2 alpha. I get 1 minus quantity 1 plus cosine 4 alpha all over 2, and then all that over 4. So I can break this up into two fractions. I can have 1/2 plus cosine 4 alpha over 2, and that's all over 4. So I'm going to distribute the negative. I have 1 minus 1/2, which is 1/2, and then minus cosine 4 alpha over 2, and that's all over 4, which I can get a common denominator of 2, right, and just subtract. So that'll just be 1 minus cosine 4 alpha over 2, and then that's all over 4. So think of this as 1 minus cosine 4 alpha over 2 divided by 4, which is the same thing as multiplying 1 minus cosine 4 alpha over 2 with 1 over 4. So whenever you divide, so think of this as divide, whenever you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. So that's 1 minus cosine 4 alpha at the top, and then 2 times 4 on the bottom was just 8. So now we just proved the identity.